Where I am now, better than before. Through those open doors, where I am now. Where I am now, in a special place. I'll tell you all the praise. Where I am now. It's now time for the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everett, the co-host. The music that you hear in the background is none other than Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, Where I Am Now. And if you'd like to see us live at WGPL 1350 Studio, WMVA 88.9 FM Studio, all you have to do is go to 1350 Edward Everett's Facebook page or Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton Facebook page. And guess what? You can see us live in the studio. And if you want to hear us all over the world, all you got to do is go to 1350 AM, 1400 AM, go to church webcast, click and listen live. And now I want to introduce to some and present to others the host of the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, and a pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. E. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Would you, could you, will you be my neighbor?
Let's welcome our neighbors. Let's welcome WGPL 1350 AM listeners.
Peace 95.3 FM, WPCE 1400 AM, WMVA 88.9 FM.
Facebook Live is on and popping. Let's also welcome Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we promise we will shout you out.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Like, share, comment, subscribe. Go right now to YouTube at Cristo Records 1, CRISTO. Our newest platform on YouTube is at FYI Radio Show. Host Yolanda Hinton. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, and we promise we will shout you out.
Promise.
Promise. On this wonderful Fun Friday.
Shout out. Yeah.
Yes, Mr. E, Fun Friday is here. The weekend, a lot going on. We want to say good morning to Miss Virginia Sawyer. Oh, all you on, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your support.
I want to say thank you also this morning. Happy birthday to my grandson, my nephew, Marvin Everett. Today is his birthday. He turned the big 50.
Oh my goodness. Did you say a nephew turning 50?
50. T.I. Marvin Everett turns 50 years old on today.
Amazing. Happy birthday to all you all that are in May, a beautiful time of the year. The weather here in Hampton Roads is absolutely beautiful. And I tell you what, this week, Mr. E, it's going to be in the 70s, and we're going to expect some rain, but it's going to be lovely.
And this is Memorial Day weekend, so make sure you drive cautious, drive with care. Make sure you look out for the youngins because they're going to have a 3-day weekend. They don't go back to school till Tuesday, and after Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they're going to be going half a days in school. So school is about to shut down.
Shut down in this area, Mr. E, but in other cities in the 757, they got to wait till June, around June the 16th. But they go back later.
And in other places, they stand open all year round.
Well, in Hampton Roads, I know the kids are glad that they're not doing that here yet, as of yet. But I think it's going to get to that place. But, well, who knows? I know with the current administration, they're making a lot of changes to education. So, hey, that day may never come all year round in the Hampton Roads area.
That's right.
But we shall see. But this is Fun Friday, our segment, What's in Your Closet? visiting the sick and shut in, and those in prison. Why should we? Why is it important? Wow, Mr. E, I got a chance to, on last weekend, take the Young Women Achievement Success to a wonderful community service. And we were actually putting together flowers and fresh flower arrangements for the sick and the shut in. The young ladies and their preteens and teenagers really felt fulfilled as they gave back and how they serve those that cannot get out, those that need cheering, those that need a sweet word or kindness. And it meant a lot to them. And I just wanted to address it on today, how we should make sure we are seeing that those that can't get out and those that are in places that are isolated and lonely, that we serve them.
That's right. That's one of the greatest things in the world, because it says visiting the sick and the shed in and those in prisons is a compassionate and impactful act that benefits everyone involved. Here's why it's important.
Absolutely. For the sick and the shut in, it combats isolation and loneliness. Sickness and being homebound can lead to extreme isolation. A visit provides human connection, a listening ear, and a reminder that they are not forgotten or alone. This is particularly crucial for emotional and mental well being. I'm really, really glad about this topic because I remember when I first, got into the church and got into the church's ministries and things like that. Those were things that I got involved in. Got involved in going to juvenile homes, youth homes, going to the nursing homes and the hospitals and the prison. And you would be surprised how much needed it is. Even if you just say hello to a stranger that's in there, you'd be surprised how they hold on to just a little bit of you, the little time that you can give them, and how it makes them feel just to see someone say hello.
According to our research, it says it offered comfort and hope. It's time of physical pain, emotional struggle, and spiritual questioning. A caring presence can offer immense comfort and still instill hope. Sharing stories, prayers, and simply being present can alleviate fear and anxiety. Miss Hinton, I think that that's one of the greatest things in the world when you stop by and visit someone that's going through.
Yes.
In this day and time, a lot of people think it's not good to go by and visit some loved ones because some of the conditions that they may be in. Some folks will be there for a minute or two, but if you can make them just as comfortable as possible by going by, reading a story to them and reading a book to, that's one of the greatest things that one could ever do.
Holding their hands, just letting them know that you're there. You may not be able to do anything about their condition, but just holding someone's hand is key to, them feeling comfortable and they settle down and they settle in. Virginia Sawyer says, thank you. This is an area that needs to be addressed. Thank you. Seniors need a village. Seniors, the forgotten ones.
That's right.
People push aside the seniors and those that are bed bound and those, you'd be surprised. I used to go into the nursing homes and just go through there to say hello to different ones. I didn't even know them, but you'd be surprised how isolated and how hurt and how they're pained by family members not coming to see them anymore. And then they feel like they're not being treated well because nobody is seeing to them. They like put in a back room. It's just really something that can help lift their spirits as we serve those that need us.
That's right. And when you got someone that's in senior homes and left there, just left
Oh,
there, nobody wants to go by. They don't have time no more. And folks, so are wondering. That's how so many folks get early dementia. That's how so many folks
yes.
dementia.
Yeah, dementia.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's why so many folks get to the point where they're lonely and get real bitter and real upset, and because they have served other folks, and now it's time for someone to serve them. Even though it says twice a child, once an adult, that you come in, you little baby, you got wrinkles, and after you get to that great mark, then you turn around and start going right back to your childhood ways. Your skin get wrinkled, and your mind your eyesight get dim, and and a lot of things that you cannot do. But folks got to learn how that they have to make sure that these folks that's in shed in, that shed out, is not forgotten.
There are young people in those homes too, through accidents, through sickness. And you imagine, you're 30, 40, 20 years old and you're left there. It means a lot for people to come by, family members, even if, ministries can't cover the whole map, but families are responsible. And I know some families that, only one will go out of so many, and they just, people want to know where are they, why won't they come see me? And the main thing, one of the things that I really feel as though people should make sure, especially family members, that they go and see the sick and shut in, because there is abuse in some of these places. In some of these places, there is abuse. You should be there to recognize whether your loved one is being cared for when you're not there, because you can't always be there. But you need to make sure that they are not being abused or abusing.
That's right. And another thing, there's other folks that are there with them that's showing more love than what the family may show.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can adopt a family. You can adopt a family where they put their trust in somebody else other than their family members. And the only time that you might be your senior parents' caregiver or carekeeper, and the only time you come by to see them is when you need a check sign, or when you need a little piece of change. But they need your assistance. They need your help 24/7. They need you to go
Yes.
by there. And because other folks can adopt your grandma, other folks can adopt your auntie, because they showed them great love. And then at the end of the day, she might want to give them everything that they was going to give to you.
Absolutely. During the pandemic, it was horrific. You couldn't get to your loved ones. They wouldn't let you in the hospitals. It was too risky. And, people weren't able to touch. Their loved ones died without them being touched or told that they cared for them. And it was just horrific for so many that died without having anyone to be able to come and see them. And so now that, the pandemic is behind us, this is really a good time to make sure, we make up for that time, and that we go out there and we do something. Now, Virginia said this, and I really like this. She says, take them small things. It will make their day. A case of water, some tissue, or anything. She said it can come from the Dollar Tree. It's the thought that counts. It also affirms their worth. For those who may feel burdensome or useless due to their condition, a visit reaffirms their inherent worth and dignity. It shows them they are valued and loved.
That's right. And when you look at it also, it's down here, it says maintain a family connection. One
Yes.
of the things that we have is not continue to keep the family
Yeah.
together. If grandma go away, the glue that holds the family, but we still need to maintain a family connection. Keep it going on. Visits are critical for maintaining family bond. Every now and then, just not text one of your family members, go by and see them. Go by and see their face, and go by and holler at them. That keeps the bond. That
Yes.
keeps it, thinking that you care about them. Go by and let them know you love them. And sometimes if you cannot afford to take them anything, that your presence, is there, because some folks like to go back and talk about old stories and keep their minds sharp and bring the baby pictures up there so they can see that they still got it, because once you sit in that
Yes.
convalescent home, or once you sit into that place, your
Yes,
mind kind
absolutely.
of play tricks on you. So you got to make it your business to keep that family connection going.
And sometimes you may not live in the same state. That's understandable. But they have this thing called technology now, and you may want your loved ones to make sure they have the best cell phone so you can FaceTime them, and you can be on a platform where you can see them face to face. You can encourage them face to face. You may not be able to touch them, but you can touch their screen and say, I love you and I care. There are ways of reaching our loved ones and keeping them, just making sure that somebody is there. I remember when my brother was in the hospital. We didn't live in the same state, and we couldn't get to him. And he actually died that day, but my brother was able to get to him. We were able to call him, of course, and my brother was able to get there to him to love on him and care for him. And he just waited for it meant so much to have us to do some things for him. He died that day, but he did not die without a family member being there.
That's one of the greatest things. Boost morale, morale, and
Mhm.
reduce isolation. Boost your morale. Make it your business. I can't stress this enough. And some of the folks are hurt that has built church family. I've been in St. Mark AMN Zion Church. I'm just using that for
Mhm.
example. And as I done got a little older, got to use my stick a little bit more, they don't come by to see me anymore. So they don't nobody want to put the church van
Yes.
on the road anymore and pick up the seniors. One time or another, they used to go by with the church van, pick up the seniors, and put a little box up there so they can step up on the van. And now they don't. The vans are sitting in the garage or sitting in the fenced-in yard, and nobody going out there making them
Mhm.
feel like they're welcome. They're isolated.
Absolutely.
They don't want you no more, and that kind of makes them feel some kind of way that, hey, after all these many years and all I have done for you, build up their morale.
Mhm.
Boost them up and let them know they are somebody.
Absolutely. For many, especially in faith based context, visits can include prayer, reading scriptures, or offering, whatever sacraments they do, providing spiritual nourishment and strength. Some people even go in and they let people take commune. They give commune, which means a lot, especially if been to church, been in church, and been active in church. You don't really want to lose any of that. And so going in there with sometimes teams of people, really giving them a service, it means a lot. Also, it's positive. It promotes positive behavior and rehabilitation. You'd be surprised how, if you're feeling good, if you're thinking right, sometimes that can really bring you back to life.
That's right. And when you go there with the grand youngest, the great grand youngest, and everybody in there looking
Yes.
wonderful, that really, really, give them braggadocious. So when they go sit down in the dining hall with the rest of their little girlfriends and their friends in the dining hall, that encourages them. That makes
Absolutely.
them want to get up and, keep on pushing, keep on moving, because they said, I got great grand. Did you see my great grand come by here? And so that motivates them, and that helps them to keep on keeping on.
And a listening ear is very important. I remember going into a nursing home, and a woman called me in, and I sat with her, and she just talked and talked. And she said, I had a dream. She said, I dreamed I went to hell. She said, I don't know. She said, I've been calling the church to find out. And even though I did not have the answer to why she had a dream like that, uh, I could only speculate, but she just needed somebody to hear
That's right.
her. So listening to those that are shut in, sometimes they have a lot to talk about. Sometimes they just need to vent and just get it out. So that ear means a lot.
And some of them inhabit, they hold a lot of stuff in them
Mm-hmm.
because, they don't know who to talk to, don't want to tell their
Yes.
business. And especially if somebody is mistreating them, they want to tell, but if they tell that this person is mistreating them, and when your back is turned, it's
Mm-hmm.
just like they used to say, don't fuss with the cook who's preparing your food, because you never can tell what that person may do when they go back into the kitchen with your food. It's a develop empathy and compassion.
Mm-hmm.
Engage with those in difficult circumstances can deepen one's empathy and compassion, fostering a great understanding of human suffering and resentment.
Well, I tell you what, not only are we talking about those that are in the hospital and nursing homes and things like that, but prisons. This is a place where people kind of shy and shun, but why visiting those in prison can significantly help. Visiting those in prison can help in a lot of ways. It can reduce recidivism. Going back in, people come out and they go back in. It can reduce that. Numerous studies have shown a strong link between in-person visits and a lower likelihood of reoffending after release. Some researchers indicate a 20 to 25 to 26% decrease in recidivism for individuals who receive visits while incarcerated.
And they said when you go to visit them, it may improve their behavior, that improve behavior in prison. When they went in, we never know what caused them to go off to the left. Now that they have no place to go, now they're sitting there and they got nothing but time to think, to think, to think. You might be able to say a great word for them and let them realize, improve their behavior in prison. When you go down there and you visit, inmates who receive regular visits tend to exhibit better behavior and have fewer instances of misconduct within the prison environment. They stop when you go by and see them because they like it when someone come to visit them. They took it for granted before they got in, but now that they sitting behind that bar, they need someone that they can chat, to keep them informed on the outside world, to build their morale up, to build their hopes and their dreams up, that everything gonna be all right once they get out.
A lot of people find the Lord when you bring ministries in, people that care, to minister to these people. You find some people, this is where God has them, that perfect place for them to come to know the Lord, because they see themselves and they see their faults and they see their wrong. And when you bring ministry, we used to go into the prisons and we used to go with music and the word, and a lot of them felt the need to accept God and ask for forgiveness for the ways. And they come out and they get in programs and they do well. They start families and they don't go back. Some
That's
of
right.
them.
That's right.
They're not repeat offenders because somebody cared enough. And that means a lot when you care enough to go to see those in prison. Jesus, he wants us to go to see the sick, the shut in, and those at a prison. He said, when I was sick, when I was in prison, you didn't come to see me. But he's saying, look, when you do that, you're serving me. And so we want to serve Christ by going and saying, look, you matter. You matter. I know a young lady who is a young man that is in for life, but the letters that he receives and the cheer that he receives keeps him going. These people are in despair and they have made mistakes. Some of them have made big mistakes, but the thing about it, still having support, because Jesus gives us all forgiveness for our wrong and our sins. All have sinned And so when we find ourselves in trouble and locked up, it is really a good thing to have that support and have people saying, look, you can still make it.
That's right. Even though you're there, there's a lot of folks, like you said, that are in there for life. They're in there for the long haul.
Mhm.
They have already given them their sentence, and they don't look like they're gonna
Yes.
never make it out that front door again or the cages again. But and then there are some prisons that's out there that's what they call 24-hour
Mhm.
lock in. That's 23 in and 1 hour out for recreation, and that's where they plan on spending the rest of their lives. But
Yes.
if you introduce them to the Lord, if you continue to feed them the Word of God and keep on praying for them, God can touch the hearts of many,
Mhm.
and their sentence can turn around because they have found that God is still God and He still opened up doors right before people's very eyes. So you got to keep on encouraging them and motivating them and giving them hope,
Mhm.
knowing that the loved ones are waiting, and supporting them can provide a powerful incentive for incarcerated individual to work towards a better future and maintain hope.
Absolutely. Hope. That's the key. Forgiveness is the key. Sometimes we find ourselves in a bad place. We've done wrong. And it means a lot to say, look, Jesus said, if you ask for forgiveness, you can receive it and you can go your way, sin no more. Don't do wrong. Just go on a better path. The thing about it is when people hold over your head the things that you've done, it just does something to you. And can you imagine somebody coming in there and saying, "Yeah, you," and don't look. These folks know what they've done, and so they also, beside them, you recognizing what they've done, you need to make sure that you are encouraging them to do better.
My auntie said she got alert this morning. She said, I got an alert this morning on my phone that you were on, and I was so happy to tune in. Your podcast mean a lot, and and live,
And it's
love you.
live.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We really want to support all, those that are in these positions through prayer. You may not be able to go, like I said, your loved ones may not be in the same city, but some way, somehow, make sure you are making connections sometimes, make sure you are praying for them sometimes. Even those that are in mental health, those that are mentally, incarcerated or in those places, they need prayer and they need sometimes for somebody to come and see about them. The feeling of isolation, stress, depression, and anxiety can really take a toll on folk, and you find them getting worse and worse and worse because they feel like nobody cares. And so make sure you're praying for those that are shut in. Make sure you get together with other family members and you go over to the hospital to see them. Make sure if you have a church who reaches out through those type of ministries. Like I said, I remember being a part of all those ministries. Even I used to run a prayer chain over at the 700 Club, and those everything that you can do counts for somebody. A listening ear. Make sure you do something to acknowledge those that are sick and shut in and those that need us.
And those who are getting ready to come out, make sure that you let them know that they can make it. Because some of
Yeah.
them coming out and they coming out with say, because I've been incarcerated, nobody's going to hire me. Listen, there are programs all over the 757 that folks are now hiring those who have been incarcerated. They just got, when they fill the application out, they just got to let folks know that I was incarcerated and let them know what it is. They got special programs and jobs that we have brought to your attention to let you know that Home Depot, if you know someone used to be incarcerated, need a job, send them to Home Depot, Harrietitas, Lowe's, and Federal Express down to the app. They got special jobs that had set around for those who need to get back into the swing of things.
Absolutely. We don't want Jesus to say, I was sick. Hope was sick. You didn't go see him. They were locked down, locked up, and you didn't think not one thought. Some people are those that are Christians and things like that that are in these places that have made a mistake and didn't take the time to see about them. We don't want that to be said. We want to say, "Oh, you visited me when I was there. You prayed for me. You listened to me, and it made all the good in the world." Look, you all be blessed. Memorial Day is coming up, and remember those who had served, and just pray for everyone. You all have a blessed weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday.
For the past 30 minutes, you've been listening to the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. We want to thank all who's tuned in, Miss Virginia Sawyer and a host of others. Thank you so very, very much. Don't forget to join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10 right here on WGPL 1350 Peace 95.3 FM, WPCE 1400, WMVA 88.9, and streaming all over the world. That's right. Don't forget to join us. And for more information, give us a call at 757-714-7861, or you can email us at FYIRadiosHowLive@gmail.com. Don't forget, have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. Bye now.
Tony Watson, thank you for joining us this morning. All you all that are on, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your support. Great topic of making sure we visit and care for those that are not able to be out with us, walking and roaming the street for some reason or another. We want to remember them. Also, some upcoming shows. We have Monday Sports Talk,
That's
and we
right.
have Memorial Day. We will announce whether we'll be here. And also for our After Dark, we'll let you know if it's going to be a replay. But also our After Dark shows, some of them will be cryptocurrency, money, and more. Mr. Jason Baker will be our guest. We are getting together with three wonderful people, Alicia Bennick, Katrina Burns, and Tony Veer for our Relationships 2025. And then we're going to also discuss on FYI After Dark the fentanyl crisis with Mr. Michael Marshall and others. This is a great, great problem. It is definitely a crisis in the country, in the world, and we want to definitely address it and inform. Also, we're going to do swimming and safety tips. We'll do travel vacation tips. And we also want you to follow us on social media and visit our sponsors, Bullvik Academy, BULVIC Academy, and Beard Gods. Look, we are serious about you all as sponsors, you all as guests, you all as some of our friends that will join us to discuss certain topics. We're looking forward to really having a good time on our morning live show and to continue with our After Dark show. So if you all have any suggestions, anything that can help the show, any topics that we need to cover that we haven't, please inbox and let us know. You can also be a special guest, intern, or sponsor with FYI. Mr. E has the contact information.
If you'd like to be a special guest or sponsor of the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world, all you have to do is give us a call at 757-714-7861. Now, you email us, we'll email you back your email so you can be in our audience. All we need is your email, so we'll email you back, and all you can send it to FYI Radio Show Live at gmail.com. That's FYI Radio Show Live at gmail.com.
Be blessed. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.
2 up, 2 down. VA.
Bye now.